been cut. How are they going to support it? Parks and Recreation, already on the chopping block. How are we going to support it? These are our kids. I'm willing to pay for our kids, not just my kids, but every kid in this town. We didn't have any of this when I was growing up here. We didn't have anybody to go to. I want my kids to be able to go to something. You say they can go to the teachers? Okay. Anybody here who is a parent knows that a child is intimidated by the teachers. Guidance counselors, overworked, underpaid. Paraprofessionals, overworked, underpaid. Kids are afraid to go to the library. Why? Do you think you're going to find the money somewhere else? There is nowhere else. Everyone's getting cut. Everyone's feeling it. Yeah. But does that mean we don't need it? No. We need this. Our kids need this. I have a senior, 2 kids in middle school, 2 kids in elementary school. 2 of them go to the mentoring program. They absolutely adore it. My 2 middle schoolers carry Jenny's number just in case. My high schooler is involved all the time. I can't believe we're going to sit here and contemplate not passing something like this. So, what's the saying? It takes a village. Let's be the village that takes care of our kids. Thank you.
John Torcio, 31 Marshall Street. I believe the proponents of this argument are addressing the wrong issue. I think everyone in this room thinks that the youth services is an important thing. Jay, you've done a great job. Kevin, Cindy, Nicole, thank you for standing up here and showing how important this is and showing what we feel about it. We all think it's a good thing. When I'm at home and I do my budget and I find something that's good and I want it, I look at what can I take out of my budget. Where am I going to get the money to pay for it? So my question is directly to the Finance Committee. You're now saying that you're in support of this motion. Where's the money going to come from? What are we not going to pay for? What are we going to give up to pay for this?
One of the possibilities was the recent local option meals tax. The town administrator and the finance director have gone through the budget and gone through what our exposures are and what some of the possible monies are, not only to fund this, but to potentially fund other items. Would you like to comment?
Mr. Valley. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Greg Naniakonis. I'm the town administrator. In terms of this fiscal year, Mrs. Herbert mentioned we have the meals tax available. We don't allocate revenues for future years. What we do is we need to solve this year's budget problem. And certainly, in terms of next year, we'll address that once we get into the budget beginning in December and January. But we don't allocate revenues that far in advance.
So if I may, Mr. Moderator, I believe that the answer I was given to my question was, we don't know how we're going to pay for it. Is that fair?
I think the answer you were getting was that the meals tax, that was taxed, would generate additional revenue. Mr. Patton.
Matthew Patton, 27 Tyler Road. Mr. Moderator, let me apologize. I thought you were saying Russell let us speak, so I misunderstood you when you spoke earlier. But what I want to address are 2 things that the board is elected to say. Number 1, government is there to make sure that everyone in the community is provided for, even the person standing in the corner in the shadow. To say it's just there for business is completely wrong. And the second thing is, we can't afford not to do this. I was given the opportunity when I went to school, when I had speech impediment, I was given the resources to better myself. In economic strife, children see their parents going through and trying to figure out how to pay for budget. If they get laid off, they have to pay their mortgage, they see that pain. And to them, where are they going to go? And I believe the same people on the Board of Selectmen who voted against the meals tax and said, well, we can't do that, are now saying we don't have the money to do it. Well, maybe if you can't find the resources for the needs of this community, maybe you need to find something else and you shouldn't be sitting at the front of the room. So I would like to move to the question so that the town can support the resources that we need.
My second move to the question. All those in favor of moving to the question? I'm sorry, he did, he spoke. I'm sorry. Sir? You want to move to the question?
Dan Driscoll, 6 Equestrian Drive. I don't think the question tonight is whether the program that we're talking about is of high quality and a lot of success. I think the amount of people that are here kind of brings it home of everything that's been accomplished by this group. I think the question is, over the last couple of years, including this budget cycle, we cut a lot of things just to balance the budget. There's been things cut out of the town government, there's been things cut out of the school department, there's been things cut out of the rec department. Everybody cut programs to get to this year's budget. So I guess my question is, I don't understand how there is money available, question number one. Where does that money come from? Question number two, if there is money available, I guess I don't understand what the process is. The things that have been cut over the last couple of years, are those in the queue for this extra money, along with funding NORCAM? Well, I'm saying there's been a lot of things that have been cut to get to the point that we're at, and I don't know if those are being reconsidered if we've got surplus dollars for this budget as well as the budget going forward. Thank you.
To the question.
Just to that point, I think for the majority of the board on this particular issue, those other items that have been cut over the last 2 or 3 years are in the queue, and from a priority standpoint, stand in front of this position. But if the town meeting wishes to do something otherwise, for the majority of the board here, there are other priorities that come in front of this position. There are restoration of services and programs that are essential for the education of our children, the public safety of the community, that come before this position.
Mr. Dardino.
Mr. Dardino, 16 Ridgeway Road, former selectman. I move the question.
That's my second move to the question. I don't think we're hearing new items. All those in favor of moving to the question, please say aye. Aye. No. Motion carries. We now vote on the main motion. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. Article 2. Mr. Messeri.
Before I read this motion, I respectfully ask everyone that's in this room to stay here until we finish town meeting.
Can I please have quiet in the hall so we can continue with the business of the meeting? We are going to, Article 2 is to amend the operating budget, and we are going to split it into 2 motions.
Mr. Moderator, tonight, can I move to reconsider Article 1?
We have a motion for reconsideration on Article 1. If you vote reconsideration, it comes back up for debate. If you vote no on reconsideration, it is dispensed with and may not come back up for debate at this meeting. Everybody understand that? So if you don't want to talk about it anymore, you would say no. That's an easy way to explain it. All those in favor of reconsideration, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Okay? In consideration fails, that's the end of that article for this evening. And again, we're going to, this is Article 2, we're going to divide the motion. So Mr. Messeri.
Mr. Moderator, I move to amend the FY 2010 operating budget voted under Article 21 of the April 6, 2009 annual town meeting as follows. Line 58 and 59, library. Raise and appropriate the sum of $6,000 to supplement the department salary budget and raise and appropriate the sum of $4,000 to supplement the department expense budget as specified in Article 2 as printed in the warrant.
We have the motion. Does the Board of Selectmen wish to make a recommendation? Mr. Messeri.
The Board of Selectmen recommends.
Would the Finance Committee like to make a recommendation? Mr. Mastercusa.
Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee unanimously rejects this article and does not recommend it. When the annual budget was voted in June, the budget was set based on priorities and the reasonable expectation of a certification waiver from the state for the library. Nothing has changed. The 2010 library budget did not suffer the same level of cuts that other town departments were handed. The library was simply given what the town could afford. We think we should stick with that.
For the library trustees, Mrs. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The library trustees unanimously recommend this article, and I would like to make a presentation that will take 5 minutes or less, and so would not ask for leave of meeting.
Okay. You have 5. You get 5. Everyone gets 5 minutes. Not everyone. No, go
Thank you. I'd like to first thank everyone for staying for this presentation. I understand that the previous article was long and emotional, and I would ask your indulgence for a few minutes to learn perhaps a little bit about the library budget and what this $10,000 request means for the library. The state sets minimum certifications for public libraries in Massachusetts. The reason for this is it's very easy to look at the library and say it's extra, it's not a requirement, and to look at the library and cut for towns to cut it disproportionate to other departments. So the Mass General Law state standards, which you can see here, requiring certain expenditures on behalf of municipalities to maintain certification for the library. What I'd like to talk about this evening is bullet number 2, the municipal appropriation requirement, known as the MAR. As you can see here, the MAR requirement is for the municipality to appropriate the average of the last 3 years' budget plus 2.5%. Restated, that's the average, again, of the last 3 years times 1.025. For fiscal year 2010, for North Reading, the MAR is $438,102.